Hey guys, this is Cavs with Yikes Reviews. Today we're going to discuss good old scenes. What I mean by that is we're going to take scenes from either my favorite film or favorite video game and discuss it. In today's scene, we're going to discuss the movie 1985 movie Legend with Tom Cruise, Mia Sara, and the incomparable Tim Curry. When I think about Legend, it's kind of a mixed bag. It's one of my earliest childhood films. It has a blend of fantasy, a little splash of horror. Um, there's some comedic elements to it. If you're a fan of the Neverending Story, Lady Hawk, Dragon Slayer, it's along that same vein. But where it stands out is its excellent cinematography, excellent special effects, and the wonderful, wonderful acting by Tim Curry. Tom Cruise and Mia Sara and the rest of the cast do an admirable job, but literally, Legend was made and broken by Tim Curry. If you play Darksiders and you remember the character of Abaddon in that video game, he's heavily inspired by Darkness, played by Tim Curry. And I'm actually going to discuss one particular scene. I'm not going to review the entire film. I'm going to add a splash of like my thoughts on the film in general, but I'm going to talk about one scene in particular, and I'll actually show a little bit of it. But I'm going to actually talk about leading up to it and why I feel it's one of my favorite scenes. Why it's one of my good old favorite scenes. Legend had a troubled development from the onset. Ridley Scott, he had just come off of doing his films from Aliens and Blade Runner, and he wanted to take a stab at fantasy. And I feel he nailed it admirably. He brought in Rob Bottin, who had just come off of, he was actually doing The Thing at the time. And if you are a film aficionado, if you are John Carpenter head like myself, you already know that the special effects in Thing are legendary, even to this day. But he had just come off of a Thing. I believe he was working at the same time, and he wanted to take a stab at doing fantasy. So he helped Ridley Scott craft that film, and I think the pair of them did a wonderful job. Now, Legend, in terms of story, is very threadbare. It's more of a vibe film. And kind of break it down. The story, in its basic overview, discusses how Darkness, played by Tim Curry, is like the devil. He's a representative of the devil in this world, and he wants to rule over the world. And in order for him to do that, he would need to kill the Earth's most powerful beings. These beings control light. They are a source of innocence and strength and love and life. And those beings are unicorns. And there's a pair of them. I believe it's the only pair in existence currently. Once Darkness kills the unicorns, then the sun will basically fade away forever, and he'll be able to walk the earth without being harmed by light, and bring about endless darkness, endless cold. You know the story. Now, alongside Darkness' plan to rid the world of light and love, are two beings, two humans. One's a princess called Lily, played by Mia Sara. If you're aware of Ferris Bueller, Day Off, you remember Mia Sara. She played Sloane in that movie. And the always magnetic Tom Cruise. He plays Jack. I believe this is his first role as Jack. He'll go on to play many other roles with a character named Jack or John or Joe, something good old American strong name, but yeah, he's in here as Jack. He's looks sort of like Peter Pan. He's a child of the forest. I believe Ridley Scott it said something along the lines of that he's more of like a hermit, His backstory is never really truly explained. There's a mystery to him, but he is in love with Lily. Lily, she bursts onto the scene right after darkness, kind of gives his spiel on how he wants to rule over the earth. He's the intro to the film. And Lily's running through the fields in her white dress, hair flowing, smelling the flowers, looking at the animals. The scenery is all beautiful. Okay, this is something I can work with. This is something that I can use. This is something that I can use for my benefit. I can leverage this. And you don't see that explicitly, but you see it in her manners when she, pushes darkness and calls him out and calls him an animal and taunts him. And as he's approaching her to do God knows what to her, she's like, wait a minute, hold on. I'll give you anything you want if you let me kill the unicorn. Now, you don't know. Well, as a kid, I didn't really know if she was actually going to kill the unicorn or not. But like now growing up, now being, adult, like her using that to kind of hook in darkness and get that trust and get just some more time, because she knows that Jack is going to eventually save her. But more importantly, she knows that she's going to be able to have some time to free the unicorn. She has no idea that Jack is there. She has no idea when he's going to be there, but she's using this to buy more time to do what she needs to do. And I think it's a wonderful scene, played by Mia Sara, beautifully, to kind of get in touch with that dark side. Sorry, moving the mic. Get in touch with that dark side and use whatever time, whatever benefits and abilities that she has to get that time needed so that she can free the unicorns and Jack can save the day. So yeah, that's been my take on this scene. Like I said, Legend, it's not the best fantasy movie, but it's one of the most influential fantasy films of the 20th century. You'll see its markings in video games and film and music if you look hard enough. And I think a hallmark of a great scene is how it sticks with you years and years, sometimes decades after it's been released. And it's going to apply to video games as well, or even music. You pick up on these things, and I'm trying to recall as much as possible without even looking at the film, but I looked at it recently, and some of those images are fresh. I may have missed a few things, but that's one of the hallmarks of like a great piece of media, where you're able to kind of recount it as much as possible from just basic memory, because you're able to see those images, you're able to hear those words in the dialogue, you're able to almost be transported back to that time period of when you first saw it. That's one of those hallmarks, and those hallmarks of a great film are kind of slowly fading. They're out there. I'm not saying they're not out there. They're out there, but they're slowly fading from our world, and I hope more directors and more musicians, they just hold on to that creativity and lock in, and make something as memorable and as beautiful as Legend. So yeah, that's my take. Again, sorry for all the bumps in the mic. I was fighting it and stuff like that, but yeah, this has been Yikes Reviews, Cabs with Yikes Reviews. Thank you for your time. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you need to. I appreciate it, and I'll see you when I see you. All right.